Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. Previously, we wrapped up the first day of investigations in the second case. It's easy to forget how short the first one is. And yes, we met the legendary prosecutor, Godot. He has never lost a case. He's never won any either, it's his first time. I already love him. And now we cross-examined the first witness, Detective Gumshoe, and now it's time for Luke Atmey to say his piece. And, well, this guy, if he does anything, he embellishes a lot, so it should be easy to point out a contradiction in his testimony, so let's get going. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. That's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask Demask, dancingly descended upon me. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police. Wait, a single strike was not landed? But the brooch was torn off his chest. It's spelled brooch, but I've never heard brooch. I've only ever heard brooch. What's the difference, I wonder? Yeah, no, he's not saying he ripped off the brooch. So you didn't get a clear look at the criminal? My specially made monocle never misses a thing. However, that is limited to things that fall within my own visual range. But of course, that's only natural. I failed to see why the witness seems so proud of his performance that evening. Well, Sir Old-Timer, let me explain. We are not speaking of any ordinary thief, but of the king of thieves, the great Mask Demask, my arch-enemy. That is what my instincts and my years of experience tell me. Very well. Proceed with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. With pleasure. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. So that would be 1 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, correct? That's an impressive deduction, Sir Lawyer. You were on security duty that night. Where exactly were you at the time? A penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse, near the computer. Near the computer, huh? So then you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it. Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief. Yeah, he said the same thing yesterday, too. Gumshoe also said that they've never spotted the thief at the crime scenes before. Precisely. That is precisely why I chose not to hide last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief. That's actually kind of a good idea. That makes sense to me. I mean, if he wasn't obviously Demask himself. Looks like the thief was the one applying pressure. On your pigeony head, that is. In any case, that's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask Demask, dancingly descended upon me. Dancingly descended? From where exactly? Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else? So in actuality, he neither danced nor descended. Someone please save me. So how is it that you didn't notice the thief? My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow while my ears listened for his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up on me. It can only be due to his subtly camouflaged cape and soft-soled shoes. I by W. Ace Dunce. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. You didn't see the criminal's face when that happened? Well, that's a difficult part. How should I put it? I saw his mask. That's all I can recall. That's not very solid as far as testimony goes. However, fortunately I had my third monocle, the security camera, at the ready. It captured his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe.
Well, as long as this photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have a problem with the photo? Good. Then let's continue with the testimony.
Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. Attacked and knocked unconscious. And you weren't able to do a thing. Certainly some very impressive detective work. Well, Sir Lawyer, have you ever been suddenly struck on the head?
Yes, actually.
Huh?
Well, actually, yes. By a fire extinguisher.
And what happened?
I was knocked out.
And you lost your memory, too. You see, you have no right to look down on me then, do you?
He's got us there.
The only reason I didn't lose my memory was because I have more brains to begin with.
You may have brains, but the wiring to the self-reflection part seems to be severed.
In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless. And then 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police.
About this 30 minutes.
My silver cord was loosened and my soul fled to the golden halls of Elysium.
As usual, I have no idea what this guy is saying. I think he's saying that he was out cold. So, what happened during these 30 minutes?
No one can say, Your Honor. That span of time has truly vanished into the ether.
Just what is he going on about?
There's something suspicious about Detective Atmey. How could he not have noticed when the thief came in?
Also, he says he was knocked unconscious before he could fight back. That can't be right. It contradicts evidence.
Huh? Which piece?
The real question is, why would he tell such an obvious lie? Alright, yeah. Before I could land a single strike. Nuh-uh. Mr. Atmey, could you take a look at this with the special monocle of yours?
Aha! This belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch nemesis, Mask Demask. It is, in point of fact, Mask Demask's brooch.
It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened.
Elementary, my dear lawyer. Obviously, it wasn't glued on well enough.
Not quite. It clearly shows signs of having been ripped off a piece of clothing. Ripped off? Oh. We can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with the thief. The only person that was on security duty that night. You, Detective Atmey.
Eric.
Detective Atmey, you must have fought with a thief that night. So, why did you lie in your testimony to the court? Witness, giving false testimony is a serious crime.
No. Wait just a moment, Sir Old-Timer.
Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home.
I just remembered, Your Honor. I was just confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately.
The true measure of a man is in the amount of work he does. That's what I always say. Nick, you can only handle one case at a time. Isn't that right?
You talk too much. Witness! So are you now saying that you and the thief thought? Not thought.
Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules. Indeed, I understand. I, Luke Atmey, agree completely. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, Luke Atmey cannot be so easily discombobulated.
I love that word.
Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. His first blow struck true. Bam! And that's all she wrote.
So, in the end, you did catch a glimpse of Mask Demask?
Correct. It was during his third crime that he struck me from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak.
Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case.
That can't be good. Okay. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment.
So why did you look away from the door anyway?
In addition to the camera, I have prepared a variety of other sensors as well. The alarm on one of those had gone off, so I had to check the data. That's why I went to the computer. Elegantly, of course.
So you were momentarily vulnerable when you were working on the computer. What should I do? Should I ask some more questions? Yeah, about the sensor. Where did that go off? What kind of sensors are you talking about?
There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from. There are air conditioner ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat detecting, infrared, and ultraviolet sensors to each of them.
It's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours?
Lordly Taylor Department Store was kind enough to provide the monitoring hardware. Naturally, the security camera that took the photo belongs to them as well.
In other words, they couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh?
Has that cleared up any doubts you had about me, Sir Lawyer?
Hold on, let's ask those other questions. I need to know. About the computer. So did that computer belong to Lordly Taylor as well?
Correct. Well, except for the program that manages the data. And that was specially designed by me, Luke Atmey.
Okay, so you had full control of what was recorded. God damn it. It's not looking good for you, sir. In that case, you could have easily manipulated the data. Yeah.
What's wrong, Sir Lawyer? However, Luke Atmey cannot be so easily discombobulated. What does that mean?
Discombobulated? Young people these days, they really irritate me. They allow perfectly good, old words to die until everyone forgets what they mean.
I agree, Judge.
Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyway? Now I've forgotten. What was I saying?
Jeez, it's better than old people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago.
Well, it looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony.
Okay, I guess he was discombobulated, right? Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless.
What do you mean by weapon from the side?
Naturally, that thief had no idea that I, Luke Atmey, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door to the warehouse.
Sword? You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch?
Correct. Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp.
Okay, so he is talking about the Shichishito. So the thief armed himself with a sword. What about yourself, witness?
A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough.
You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities?
But of course, in college I was a second in charge of the boxing club.
Second in charge? I'm sorry if I failed to find that appropriately impressive.
However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch nemesis, Mask Demask.
This guy is a real piece of work.
His first blow struck true. Bam! And that's all she wrote.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what happened?
My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powericious.
Powericious?
I assumed the Atmey fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me.
What do I do now? You're blinded. What is that? So, what was this flash of light that blinded you?
I was bathed in a golden light that seemed to come from the statue of the woman.
The statue of Amy Faye, I'm guessing.
Well, that wasn't very much help at all. Well, what do you think, Nick?
Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now.
Yeah? What is it?
This Luke Atmey guy? He's definitely hiding something.
But why?
I think I've started to figure out what really happened that night. About the true nature of this detective. Okay, let's ask those two remaining questions in these. Just to see what happens. That's enough. Okay, nothing there. Okay, let's press this and ask about the fighting style. What is this Atmey fighting style?
I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. I really can't say anymore. But I suppose I can tell you about it if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you.
That's it? That's the Atmey fighting style? Well, Mr. Wright, what about that testimony? Oh! Yeah, wasn't Luke just saying he was struck from behind? Hold up. Knocked Atmey out during the crime with a blow to the back of the head. Yeah, that's what the evidence says. It was very important, I'd say. Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique, after all. Yes, indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night. What the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out. Now then, witness. We'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony. Ah!
I put my back to the wall to fight, but the thief's blow landed upon my third eye? His forehead? No! Okay, just for completionism's sake, let's press this. Where is this third eye you're talking about? Oh, it's right between my right and left eyebrows. It's quite invisible to the unenlightened. You may call it the forehead if you like. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? Sir Lawyer, it looks like the creases in your own forehead are getting deeper. Okay. So, Mr. Atmey got hit on the forehead then? That's what he says. I've got a funny feeling about that. Actually, so do I. Alright, here we go, let's do it. Right. Let's present the Shichishito. Detective Atmey, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. What fun this is, Sir Lawyer. It is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. No, the coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door. Then my arch-nemesis struck me on the head from behind with this gruesome item here. From behind, huh? But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit in the head. It seems I've made another mistake. Detective Atmey, that's not the only strange part of your testimony. What do you mean by that? For example, the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were going to help with security. Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong. Objection! Whoa! Manly man over here. Huh. That's such a powerful voice for him. I kind of imagine him to be more softer and low-key. I think I'll keep with that, though. To err is human. To forgive, divine. Humans aren't machines. They have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate. And yes, they even make mistakes. Hey, hold on. It's not as petty as that. As pretty as that. Really? What is it like then? Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around. Mr. Wright, what exactly is it that you're asserting? Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that Mr. Atmey is no ace detective. This Mr. Atmey is a fake. Mr. Atmey is mask to mask. Finally. The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke Atmey's true identity is actually Mask Demask. Yeah! Whoa, that shocked him. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? Oh, this song is such a banger. There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atmey's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scene, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure. That's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh, please. The explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atmey.
The truth is that you are in fact Mask Demask. Gark!
But Mr. Wright, this photo, it clearly shows Mask Demask. This security camera belongs to Lorley Taylor department store. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it.
He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed up as the thief and stole the urn.
So, the ace detective is actually an ace thief. Is this true, witness?
Demask's MO is pure genius, and so am I, Luke Atmey, ace detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, sir lawyer.
What? Witness, you're admitting it?
Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atmey, when you assume the... What? Hey! What? Come on! It's one thing to whip a whip at him, but to throw scalding hot coffee on his face? Really? Come on, dude! Oh my god. Godot Blend number 102. My personal favorite.
Mr. Godot.
The ace detective is actually the ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem. It simply isn't true.
But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I
will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of a whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt. Mr. Wright, if this detective really is the thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face.
Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have. Quickly.
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. What's the big rush? Are you alright, Nick? Atmey looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can. Okay, do I have anything that would prove it? I suppose I should take a lesson from case 2-5, or no, 2-4, the Matt On Guard case. All I have is incidental evidence. Nothing is proof, right? Like, there's no way this case can end right here and now. We still haven't... There's still gonna be another day of data collecting out in the field. We still have to cross-examine Ron Delight and Desiree Delight and all that. And maybe Larry Butts, too. Yeah, no, I don't have the evidence. But can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Mr. Luke Atmey is in fact Mask Demask has yet to be found. Proof? Of course I've got nothing. Ha! Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high, no matter how bad things get, after all.
Ah, I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion.
This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is the thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. It's no good. Just not ready yet. But
Are you going to just give up and let us lose this? So, you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all.
It seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Godot, do you have anything further to add? Who?
Desi!
Who are you?
That doesn't really matter right now, does it? Mr. Light, what are you doing here? Nicky boy, the thing you've been looking for, I think I found it. Hit Atmey's satchel. Yeah, what was in there?
You mean that bag?
No, not the bag. God damn it. Phoenix said it was round and smooth. And I said, oh, it's probably the vase. No, it couldn't be the vase. It's covered in cracks. There's no way it's smooth. Wait, it says Amy. It was put back together properly. And it's certainly covered in the pink paint from the crime scene. Oh my God. Well, wow, okay. No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well...
That's...
the sacred urn! Nick, it's the urn!
Oh my. Order, order, order. You, madame. That urn. Where did you find it?
You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective, Luke Atmey. Oh, Desi, you're the best. Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atmey? Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one.
Objection!
Ha! Pathetic.
Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say?
Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad.
You're still denying that Mr. Atmey was involved.
Before casting aspersions at Detective Atmey, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight. Is that correct? Yes. What about it? Ha! How charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring. What are you insinuating? As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere. Ah, damn it, he's got a point. Including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. What? I just brought it here from the detective's office. Please, madame. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to. You're wrong. I would never do such a thing. Mr. Light. Please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people. There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atmey Detective Agency. Testify about what I saw. It would be a conflict of interest, wouldn't it? Maybe? Show fingerprints on the urn? Well, no, Masty Masks wears gloves. I can't prove anything yet.
This is only hearsay. This might be proof. Maybe, just maybe, Atmey handled it. I can prove where the urn was. By the fingerprints on it. Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. Oh, he wears gloves all the time, too! Damn it! May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I'm always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything.
What about it, Mr. Wright? Mrs. Fingerprints would mean nothing anyway.
Nick, what are you going to do now?
Okay. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. Oh god, did I make a mistake? Phoenix Wright. Yeah, I touched it. I touched it! I touched it! I did! Oh my god! I did! Oh, whoa, wait! If I prove that I touched it when I was in his office, then... Oh my god! Yo!
Take that!
Oh my god, wait! I just stumbled into this! Oh my god. Did anyone else just get hype? I just got hype. Holy crap. Okay. So what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway? Mr. Atmey, do you recall the events of yesterday? Hey, Nick. Come on. Open it up. Hey, wait a minute. We can't just open his private property. Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. This is an important investigation. Well, what's in there? Hang on a sec. I'm taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard, smooth. Well, hello there. It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at that time. But I did touch what was inside. Ooh, what? You touched it? And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard. Well, that was just... Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atmey's office.
Objection!
Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it? Of course it does. What did you just say? It's not what I say, but what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. Oh, good memory, Phoenix. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday at the Atmey Detective Agency. Ha! This blend, Godot Blend number 107. I've decided it's a little too bitter after all. Whoa! Does he have a bandage around one of his fingers? Interesting.
Order, order, order. I accept the defense's request. Bailiff, take this urn and...
Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that.
No need, you say?
Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn.
What are you saying?
Yes, I've finally broken him down.
Nah, read the room, Phoenix. He has a plan.
Take a good look, everyone.
Oh, maybe we did rattle him.
Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself.
You have to be shitting me.
Here I am, the tragic clown.
This guy is nuttier than a fruitcake.
You see, it was me all along. I am the one and only Masked Mask.
Oh, what? Really?
No, really?
He's admitting it?
But
surely the case can't be over. There's so much left untapped.
I hope you all enjoyed my little performance.
What? Really? Well, Mr. Godot, what's Mr. Atmey's condition?
He's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be.
Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief.
Nick, you're right after all.
Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight. I knew it.
You're wrong. Ron, I tell you. I mean, not exactly wrong so much, but actually not right is what I was really trying to say.
Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening.
The thief, the sneaky, odious thief who's been stealing all the treasures. It's me, I'm him. I'm the one you want. I'm the thief, I tell you. So do it. Pronounce me guilty, please.
I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but...
Objection!
The true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass judge...
What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell you.
Mr. Godot, don't just stand there drinking coffee.
Ha! Hey there, Mr. Thief. Yes, sir? If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean. If you are Masked Mask, then prove it. That's what it means.
Yes, sir, I'd be happy to.
He says he'll be happy to, Nick. It's kinda cute.
He's 100% committed to his fantasy.
Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man. I know that. I won't fail, I swear. Okay then. Talk. We're all listening.
Oh well. Let's all have a listen to his confession.
Oh boy. The truth is, I've been Masty Mask all along. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually Masty Mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. I donned my costume that night and dancingly descended upon the scene of the crime. Look, you can see it right here in this photo. That's me. As for my brooch, I snagged it on the door handle and it got torn off, that's all.
I don't like the direction this trial has taken. This is how every trial goes. At least with me, anyway. Ha! You're doing great. Oh, stop it, Mr. Godot. You're embarrassing me. Like I said, you're only going to get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through this with flying colors, I'll keep my promise too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in prison as the one and only true Mask to Mask. Thanks so much, Mr. Godot. I'll do my best. All right, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid it's time for cross-examination. Goodness gracious me, oh my. Ron, buddy, pal. Well, I think I need to call it here, because who knows how long this could go on. I'm about 10 minutes short on this video, but yeah, you see why I need to quit here. So, I admit, we cracked Luke Atmey way faster than I thought we would. And now we have Ron Delight here on stand, and depending on how this goes, if we actually bring up the blackmail letter and his dropped wallet and all that, then who knows? I could see this ending in one court session, but I don't know. It could go either way. This could get a second day of investigation and second day of court, or it could just end next time. I don't know. Well, all I know is that this has been a really fun case. Oh man, the realization that Phoenix had his fingerprints on it, that was so good, dude. Oh, I haven't had that exciting jolt of realization since case 1-4 with the date combination of the SL9 incident, or no, the DL6 incident, with being the combination for the locker or the briefcase or something like that. Oh yeah, that was good. This is a really strong case. The first case was a strong case. Trials and Tribulations is really, really good so far. Like, yeah, wow. I am a big fan of this game so far. I do say that, yeah. So, yeah, I guess I don't have anything else to say. This has been Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. I'm Zephyr the Jester. I thank you for watching, and hopefully I will catch you next time. So until then, please take care.